Good day, and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle. It's your boy, right here with another DBZ Dokkan battle video. And still looking for an intro. So the event that I'm going to cover today is preparation for the EZA that's coming for Prime Battle Frieza. So I'm going to break this video into kind of like a summary overview of what to do and how to get all the units done. And then the next thing I'll do is I'll cover each event in a different video and the actual Prime Battle itself and the eventual EZA. So you'll see there's quite a lot of stuff that's unlocked. One of the first things to take note of is that the Prime Battle Frieza event to awaken him, or at least get a copy of him, is at half stamina. So if you have not done that, I do suggest doing that. It shouldn't be one of the first things you do, but you should definitely focus and spend time on it. It won't take too long with half stamina. But we'll go through that in a separate video. It'll be quite easy to cover. So one of the first things I want to show you, because it's one of the most tedious grinds in the game, is the gems. So a lot of people know that you need quite a few gems for some of the units. So luckily, if you get this Krillin, you get quite a few bits of gems back from him. That's 300, 200, 200, so 700 so far, 900 so far. It's 1500 in total, which is quite a lot. That's another 1200, and then so that's 1200, and then you get 300 more for doing 5 missions with Earthlings category units. So that's 1500 gems. The Krillin grind for the 6 Krillin units is 1800, so they essentially give you most of Krillin. And if you're not going for EZA 15, if you're just going for EZA 10, they give you enough for Krillin. So that's very good of them. I think that's awesome. For those of you who are concerned about catching up, just make certain that you get 1 copy of Krillin with your 300 stones, and then from there you should be able to get enough to farm him and finish his process. So that'll be really good. Then the next thing you're going to want to look at is the EZA medals. They also cost gems. So it's 1 for the bronze medals, 2 gems for the second medals, 3 for the gold medals, and 4 for the platinum, which makes it 305 medals in total. So you're going to keep an eye out for that. So that means your total grind for Krillin without getting to EZA 15, which isn't mandatory, is going to be 2105 gems, of which you get 1500. So you only need to grind 605, which is a lot less than a lot of people thought. So that's really, really good. So I want to start off with that good news. Then the first unit we're going to cover will be Piccolo. So Piccolo and Gohan are probably the easiest units to get from this. Piccolo drops from the Showdown with the Ginyu Force, or Face Off with the Ginyu Force challenge here, the story event. I'll cover the whole story event in another mission, but basically to cut a long story short, stage 3 is where you get Piccolo and his orbs. And it's easy, that's all you need to do. So you need to make it to stage 3, and you need to get his medals obviously, which drop from another stage. But overall, very, very, very straightforward. You will need 19 copies of Piccolo in total. You will need 4 copies of him for his parts. You will need 9 copies for his original SA10, and then you will need 5 copies of him for his EZA SA. So the thing with Piccolo, or the fortunate thing about Piccolo and with Gohan, is that they have the missions. So their missions are pretty nice in that they give you 12 copies in total of the unit. So when you are farming the missions, and when you are farming for Piccolo, run stage 3 and get a total of 7 unit copies of Piccolo. That is all you will need for Piccolo, and focus entirely on getting orbs. As you awaken his hidden potential, more and more copies of Piccolo will awaken. The easiest way to do this will be to unlock all his hidden paths, clear out all 3 other branches except for the bottom right branch, and do the bottom right branch last as you use the copies you get to unlock his SA. That will allow you to not like fully awaken him, but pretty much get close enough that you only need 1 or 2 farmed copies to finish that first unit, and then you're just basically farming the copies for his EZA unit. So it's pretty straightforward for Piccolo. That's really, really nice. You can see me kind of clicking through the missions there. So you just run stage 3, get as many orbs as possible, and just open his first 4 paths up. Once you've done that, the rest will be pretty straightforward. As you fill out his hidden potential system, more copies of him will drop. Once you have him fully done from the event, you will need to have one copy of him awakened, that's your focus copy with orbs, and you will need the second copy done, which you will obviously get to SA5. You will then jump to the EZAs. That's where you will find this Battle as a Namekian Piccolo. In Battle as a Namekian Piccolo, you need the Namekian category units. Now, Namekian category is a very small category. The lead for the Namekian category is Piccolo, who's a great card, but not a lot of people have him, and the team is very, very small. Fortunately though, you don't need to run the Piccolo category entirely. You can run just a super tech team if you wish. However, what I do recommend is that you obviously farm as many Namekian units as possible. You'll see I just ran the movie heroes team there. You can run any team. This event's really not hard up till stage 30, like at all. If you're adamant or you're really struggling, you can grab some of the free-to-play Namekian cards like Lord Slug and those Universe 6 Namekians that I showed you. But overall, you can really run any team. You can see this is my old team that I ran. It's really easy. Just take some tech units, you'll get through it perfectly fine. So that's Piccolo done. The next unit is Gohan. Gohan is essentially just a carbon copy of Piccolo. Not in terms of the actual unit or anything, but just in terms of the way you farm him. So go to the Battle for Namek, the Fierce Battle for Planet Namek event, and in this one you have two separate stages. So in the first time, in the stage 1, you get copies of Gohan, and in stage 8 you get his orbs. Exact same story with Piccolo. So all you have to do is farm the first copy of Gohan or get the first copy of Gohan from the missions. You'll see that there's a copy of Gohan that you can receive from the missions. You can take that copy of Gohan, unlock his paths, and slowly increase his hidden potential system at those 3 paths, barring the bottom right, existentially. Once you do that and get him to a certain point, you will have unlocked numerous copies of Gohan, and you can use that to raise his SA, and then eventually you only need to basically farm his EZA card. Again, it's 12 copies, so it's really good. It basically saves you 12 of 19 that you need to get, which is really good because these stages have no boosts, him and Piccolo, and so that makes farming the cards actually quite difficult and tedious. So just keep an eye out for that. The missions are exactly the same as Piccolo, so they all drop from his hidden potential system. So like I say, grab copies of him, open up all his paths, and start with the other paths. It's different to when you're doing normal units. You want to start with the other paths because you want to fill them out so that you can get his SA cards and his cards from the missions to finish him. In terms of the card himself, I went for more additional than crit because of the buff off of his super attack. I also went for more additionals on Piccolo because of his defensive raise. I think those are more helpful in the content that you'll do. Once you have Gohan ready, you're going to want to jump across to this Planet Namek saga. Again, very, very, very easy. You can either use a super strength team, which will make it very easy and very straightforward. You only need to get to stage 30. The reason I have farmed to stage 78 is because it gave you more items like orbs and training items. So if you want to, you can easily farm to there. Otherwise, you can use a Planet Namek Saga team. That can be your free-to-play Uniforce team. It can be led by the Goku card, the Super Saiyan Goku card, which I love, but no one seems to want to run as a lead. You can use plenty of these cards. I also think there's a lot more units to come from the Planet Namek saga. I think it's one of the greatest sagas in the show, so I think there's a lot more to come from there. I think we'll see a lot more cards that come from there, so yeah, looking forward to that. I'm going to cover the Lord Slug Goku very quickly. I have an entire video of him, so if you just search my channel and look for the Kaioken Goku or type in Lord Slug, you will find the Lord Slug and the Goku EZA. It's very straightforward. You can follow that video. It's pretty much the same as these other ones. You're going to want to farm 19 copies and follow along the same trend. He has an EZA area with Lord Slug, and I run through that in another video. There's some restrictions there, but you should be perfectly fine. I think overall it's not too hard, but you may have to farm some other units. So definitely leave Goku for last or after Barlock. Then next we're going to Krillin. Krillin is the gem store unit, so Cooler and Int Frieza were the gem store, Cooler was the gem store unit for the first batch with LR Goku, but Krillin is the one for this one. So as you all know, with Krillin, he didn't have an awakening until this latest patch, So now that Krillin's got an awakening, he awakens from the Saiyan event. So if we go to Krillin here, we can see that he awakens with the Saiyan medals. You need 8 of them. So if you are going for his full EZA 15, and you're not going to use cars, you want 6 copies of Krillin, you're going to go for the EZA 15. You are going to need 16 of these medals. Now fortunately, these medals do not take long to drop. They drop from stage 8 of this new threat, the Saiyan Warrior race. And the Inhuman Deeds category buffs this category, buffs the drops from here. It took me 2 to 3 runs to farm all the medals for 1 copy, so it's literally farming maybe 5 runs and you should have all the copies for this. Definitely think that the Krillin they did a good job with in terms of effort, considering how many gems it takes. I don't think you needed like another grind of like 400 medals or this or anything stupid or a bad drop rate. So you'll see the Inhuman Deeds, you've got at least 2 free-to-play options there with the Goku Black Zamasu and the Frieza himself. So you do have some nice buff opportunities for this category. Once you get those 8 medals, you will awaken your Krillin, and then Krillin is fully awakened. Once he's awakened, his EZA is very, very straightforward. You're going to go to the Bubba shop and you're going to buy the medals. Once you buy the medals, you're pretty much done. You're going to need 15 bronze medals, 40 silver medals, 30 gold medals, and 30 platinum medals. Those will cost you in total 305 treasure gems. I know it's quite a lot. It's going to be a lot for you guys that don't farm regularly or anything like that. If you need gems, please follow my guide. I have a video up how to farm gems and how to link levels. It's all in the same stage, at least for me. It's 23.8. You can get on average 10 gems a run if you're clever and you follow just farming gems. You can also get up to 30 gems a run with a boost or even more. So please follow that stage. Sometimes you can get super lucky and really kill it. The Krillin unit himself is also bought from the Bubba shop. He is 300 a copy. If you're going to EZA 15 him, you're going to obviously buy the copies. 1 for him, 4 for his pals. That's 1500. Then you buy the second copy that you will raise to SA 5 to change him to an SA 15. If you're not going for that, and you do not have to go for that, let's say you're tired of farming gems, or you really need to catch up, or you still need to do the Goku one and you'd rather spend 300 gems there, you do not need to SA 15 these units. You only need them to be SA 10 so that they can have rainbow and that you can then attend the event with them. Krillin's EZA 15 is decent, but I would not say it's necessary. As before, I'm just showing you the missions so that you can see how you can get the gems. Also, there are 3 additional missions that if you do them with the human category, you will be able to, or the Earthlings category, you'll be able to get another 300. So yeah, like I said, 1500, pretty good. It really cuts down the grind and the slack for Krillin. I think it was really good that they added in the missions. So those of you who are still catching up from Goku, who are still trying to finish Cooler, who are still struggling, who are really pushing, who kind of really want to get these stones when they come out, who really want to get Frieza as he comes out, who want to catch up, this is really going to help you. Obviously, you still need to farm for the medals and for that last copy of Krillin if you want to not spend cars or just not SA him at all. You can obviously look at that as an option. Now, you're going to say, well, but I want to raise his SA. Well, there's 2 ways to raise his SA. So the one way to raise his SA, which pops up every Friday, but you can access via gem story keys, is the Prime Battle Krillin event, the Earthling Warrior Prime Battle Krillin event. It drops an SSR version of him, which is 50%. You cannot awaken it, or you can awaken it, but it's going to cost you a lot of time. Alternatively, you can go to stage 4 of the Buy a Broly event, which will also cost you story tickets, not challenge tickets. But this event also drops a Krillin. That Krillin cannot awaken, but he is 50%. So the nice thing is you have 2 options here. I personally, depending on how much grind you have, and depending on how much time you have, and depending on just where your resources lie or what your situation is, I personally opted for using the story keys on the Krillin. That was just obviously because I wanted to get things done as quickly as possible. Otherwise, what you can do is you can obviously opt out and go for the Prime Battle one when he pops up on Friday, and just shift your attention there and try and farm some copies. The problem with the Prime Battle one is obviously you can spend a lot of time farming the copies and spend a lot of stamina farming the copies, where there's other events and other things that you may need to do to catch up. So if you've got story keys, I do suggest doing that. I know it will consume them, but it is the best point of call. Okay, the last unit, because Barlock Goku has his own video on my channel, and I believe if you want to really follow the process to get Barlock Goku, you should start there. So please follow the Barlock Goku video before you watch this one. It's definitely the best route to go, because you're going to need Barlock Goku to do this one anyway, so there's no point starting any of these units before you have Goku done. So, Bardock. Bardock recently got his awakening like Krillin with the latest update. Barlock drops from his own event as well, so we're fortunate again in that Barlock drops from his own event. Again, his event has a boost, so luckily these last two events, they obviously thought of us, or you know, these events got given boosts recently. So his boost is the giant form category. Overall, this grind was a little bit more tedious than the other one, but nothing too crazy. What you're gonna have to do, because Barlock only drops as an SR, you have to farm medals, because you have to Dokkan awaken the units so that you can at least put them into Barlock for his hidden potential. So what that means is this first awakening that you will see on the Barlock card for the 3 medals of each of his ally team that drop from stage 1 of this event, you're going to need to farm those 12 times. You're going to need 12 copies of each of those, because 15 copies of each of those, because you're going to need your standard Bardock, your base Bardock. You're going to need to take 4 copies of him and also Dokkan awaken those. You're then also going to have to Dokkan awaken that extra copy that you eventually EZA 15 him with. So that means 15 of those starter medals. Then Bardock himself, obviously you farm the standard 19 copies, because SA doesn't change with SR or anything like that. And then afterwards, what you need to do is you need to farm 20 Bardock medals and 20 Frieza medals. You're going to need those to turn both of these cards to their final awakened state, because that's where you're going to obviously EZA 15 them. So there's a little bit of a grind, and the giant form category is really lacking in units. There's the medals. Like I said, you're going to need 15 of those, because it's 3 of each. The giant form category is lacking in a couple units. But obviously, if you have these Team Barlock members, they drop a lot. They're kind of fodder units at this point. You can totally awaken them first and give yourself a bit of a boost over time. Awakening them will help you with the Barlock EZA area anyway, so you're more than welcome to go for that and awaken those units. I think it will be very helpful for you, at least in terms of the EZA area, as there's limited options on how to run that stage efficiently. So these are the medals. Like I say, you're going to need 20 of them, because you need to awaken Bardock again into his final form. So 1 for this copy, and then 1 for obviously the copy that we then feed in as SA. Now in terms of Bardock as a unit, he's pretty decent. He looks pretty nice. He looks like a good option for the giant form team, a good free-to-play option for the giant form team. So it's going to be nice to see him there. Obviously the medals drop from stage 8 and stage 10, but you can see them there, so it's all not too bad. Barlock himself, the ground wasn't too bad. I had done it previously. I've done most of these grounds previously, because I awaken, or at least open up the paths for every free-to-play unit that I can, in case these kind of things happen. So with Bardock, the final step is to EZA area him. To EZA area Bardock, it's probably not the most challenging, but it's definitely something that is going to require a bit of patience, or you're going to need to do a little bit of grind. So the reason for this being that his limited category of units is quite substantial. One, Barlock has to run as lead. So Barlock only leads agility category units. So What you're going to want to do here, or giant form category units, so what you're going to do here is you can see the Ginyu Force free to play team is here as an option. If you have farmed the Ginyu Force, as I always suggest, you can use them. I completed it this way. It is doable, you just need to make sure that you keep Tech Ginyu on main rotation. It helps having a dupe in them because you can then crit and additional. The other units that you can use are the Bardock team, the giant form Bardock team. You can also use the Tech Bardock. I saw someone post a tech and agility hybrid team, so I will actually put that on the right. It is from Reddit. I don't claim any form of knowledge. I didn't make that team. It's from Reddit. I saw it. It's an option. I did not use it, but he said he didn't die once using it, so it is a playable option. Otherwise, you can awaken all of Bardock's friends. That is probably one of the better calls to do. They're not too expensive to awaken. You can even farm their essays with the Bardock friend events that pop up each day. So if you want to take your time with this and do it properly, and you want to really max out all the units you can in order to do this, you can farm all those units essays and awaken them, which I'll probably do afterwards anyway, just for the sake of doing it and to just kind of fill out my box. Yeah, so in terms of this whole fight here, especially in the second phase, essentially you just have to pray that you don't get super attacked on the wrong units, and what you need to do is you need to make certain that your Gildo gets as many attacks as possible and your Tech Ginyu gets as many attacks as possible. If the Tech Ginyu doubles or crits, he pretty much wraps up the whole thing on his own, which is obviously very, very good and helps a lot. The other unit that's pretty decent is Berta. If you get lucky and Barlock does not attack first, then Berta will attack first, which obviously enables his evasion, which is very, very good. Very, very helpful for the stage. You'll see him evade here. It's a decent chance of evasion. I think it's something like 40%. So it's not obviously the highest, but I mean it does help because it mitigates all the damage you would take. And then you can see there the Tech Captain Ginyu really carrying the weight. Unfortunately, Tech Captain Ginyu, if you're gonna go this route, firstly he's not. He costs Ultimate Challenge coins. Secondly, he uses cars. So difficult unit to get. You would need battle currency. But if you've farmed the Ginyu Force before, as I always advise, you will at least have 2 copies in them, because you get 1 copy from fully awakening Frieza, and you get another copy from getting every single Team Ginyu Force member. So if you've done that ground, you should have a unit with 2 copies. You can buy the second copy for Ultimate Challenge coins, and then your Tech Captain Ginyu is perfectly good to go. So there we go. You can see Bardock's medals there. There's 15 bronze, you only need 42 silver, you need 30 gold, and you need 30 rainbow. And now we will just finish up with Bardock. Take a look at him. You can see there that we're just going to kind of finish his essay now. I awakened him off screen and everything, did all that stuff. So we can slide in his essay. He goes to essay 15. That changes it to a temporary attack and defense buff. And yeah, he looks pretty good for giant form category. I'm probably going to do a video of how he performs in there. I think it's good because there are limited options for giant form SBR, and I think it's good to have these kind of free to play options. He's one of the first decent ones that I've seen, so we'll run him along there and take a look. So that's going to be the entire video. I hope that helps you organize your process of getting these units. It is quite a grind. Frieza comes out on the 14th on Valentine's Day, so you've got 2 weeks at least until then. That should be enough to get all this done, barring some catch-up work you may have to do. I do suggest that you go and see my Barlock Goku EZA video. It will help you EZA the Barlock Goku, and obviously you need to do that before you can take on Frieza anyway. Once the Frieza event comes out, you will have 2 to 3 weeks to finish the Frieza event for the stones. So you should have about 5 weeks, which if you focus on it will definitely give you enough time to get all of this done. So yeah, I hope this helps you guys. We've run through every single unit. I will have their events up put separately if you need more information or more guidance, or there will be more information in those, but whose SA is good to farm from them, what can you farm from them, what's good to farm from them, what's the most efficient way, what teams do I use. All those sort of things will be in separate videos, just to kind of keep this in a shortish format. But anyway, good luck guys. I wish you luck in getting a unit. This is me signing out. See you guys in the next one. Cheers and bye.